Hello, it is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023 at 9:03 a.m. Eastern Time USA. I'm Mitch Miller. This is my video journal. Today, we're obviously going to talk about Donald Trump being processed today, but I want to do some housekeeping first. Number one, my basement computer that my Magic Jack is connected to, so my phone system in my house. Every good system needs a break, so I am going to be shutting that computer down on Good Friday, this Friday, through Easter Sunday. I don't know when I'll turn it back on, but that'll be shut down and off the network for that period of time. Give it a break. Want to talk about this phone number 1-800-Ireland, right? Easy to remember. As far as I can tell, I called the number. As far as I can tell, they did political prisoner outreach and helped with political prisoners, specifically Northern Ireland type situation. Hasn't been active for very long, but I think it's still an active number. Somebody answered, and I know personally, if I get locked into a situation again and have access to a phone, I'm going to try to call the 1-800-Ireland number. So perhaps people in the intelligence community should become involved with the 1-800-Ireland number, and we can work to etch 1-800-Ireland in some of our prisons and especially jails where people are being processed, and then that'll be an international 800 number that's easy to remember. Hey, if I get incarcerated, thrown in a mental facility, I'm going to call 1-800-Ireland and see if they can help me. I'll give them as much information as I can. I'm in this country. I don't know what my charges are. I might be a political prisoner, so on and so forth. So I think it's a good number, easy to remember, irregardless of the politics, the initial politics of the number. I just take it as it's an easy number to remember, and it could be useful. So let's look into that. Secondly, the YEP, I said YEP doesn't stream the same program that it broadcasts over the airwaves. I might have been mistaken in this. I've been playing it. It's part of their pledge drive this week. So during the pledge drive, they might run the same program. I'll double check that. But as of right now, they are broadcasting the same thing they stream. Maybe the delay was so off that I was hearing a different song in my car than I was on my headphones at work, and I thought they were two different programs. When I shut off my headphones at work and jumped in my car, it was a totally different song, but I thought they were playing two different programs. So we'll double check that. I want to speak to the government departments and agencies renting the campground. Again, we're trying to rent the campground out for income for Ken, for income for me, but not really utilize it, except for the barn on the weekends. So maybe on the weekends we do utilize it. We have groups from different departments and agencies come up to Utica, meet at the barn, set up a video conference. Again, if I'm in the EU area on a ship, we can set up a video conference, and we can set up cameras, and we can have wrestling matches between department heads or different managers or different disputes within the agencies settled buy wrestling matches in Ken's dojo up in the loft, right? And this is good to broadcast. Look, the United States federal government is starting to resolve some issues using these methods. It's all about conflict resolution and changing the way we do that. So discussion and debate and voting is the best way to do it through direct democracy. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to concentrate power into the hands of the few, then this is the alternative, a better way to have conflict resolution, wrestling matches or pistol duels, right? The best way is everybody gets a vote. Majority rules, and that's direct democracy. So whether it's people voting or people wrestling, I think it would be a good thing to beam over the Atlantic and see on a regular basis every weekend. Lastly, before I get into Trump, so we have this ship moving around Europe. Now I proposed figuring out the martial arts scoring system for the peace treaty on our river cruise from Amsterdam to Switzerland. I'm going to alter that. I'm going to say, let's just let that be a family vacation. Let's take the pressure off of maybe the Asian community to figure this out, and let's move it to this however many month trip around Europe. We can stop at different destinations, and maybe it's not me displaying my martial arts techniques, but we have actual Asian martial artists, a forum at different ports, and we talk about a scoring system for martial arts. All right, I picked Scholastic Wrestling because you get points for different situations, right? So you have 2-minute periods, so you have 6 minutes to score as many points as possible to win the match. Can also win by fall, by pinning the person. So you get points for an escape if you break contact and you're out of contact if you started in the down position. I won't go into the point system. Somebody else can. The problem with boxing and MMA is that it's all based off of judges, and you're basically trying to knock the other person out or submit them. There's not a point system based off of one referee delivering points to each person. So that's what we're looking for in martial arts form that can be incorporated into this peace treaty, is developing a point system not based off of judges but based off of a referee directly administering points, a neutral referee. So I'm going to say this, because of the initial 3 satellite systems that were sent up into space, the US 2 Intelsats, the Russian 2 Intelsats, and the Chinese 2 Intelsats. We have the United States going with Scholastic Wrestling for the peace treaty. I'm inviting China, the Asian countries, to hold a forum, and I'm happy to moderate and facilitate a forum through translators, through whatever we have to do, to develop a martial arts points system where we can have 6-minute matches to be indoctrinated into the peace treaty, and we'll leave the third satellite system, the third hand-to-hand combat system for the peace treaty. We'll leave that open for Russia to decide if they come to the bargaining table, if they come to the peace offering table, for this peace treaty and create peace on all of their war fronts, right? So they can have forums and decide what form of hand-to-hand combat best represents their military. So there'll be 3 forms of hand-to-hand combat in the peace treaty, and these 3 forms of hand-to-hand combat with points systems can be taught to every military around the globe during their hand-to-hand combat training situations. So we'll leave that up, and that's something that's available should Russia choose to develop into a peaceful nation in the forthcoming months. As for now, though, we're focused on China and the Asian nations throughout the rest of the year, developing what they would, and China will take the lead on the martial art form that they would best associate with the international peace treaty that I've written. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about Donald John Trump, the former president. He's being arraigned today. That means he's going to get fingerprinted and processed through the criminal justice computer in the largest city in the United States of America. So this is a good thing. It validates the fingerprint system and the criminal justice computer system of New York City and every other city in the United States. It gives Donald Trump a more complex number associated with his ID, right? When they break down that fingerprint into ones and zeros, that becomes a more complex number that the supercomputers can cross-reference as far as identification purposes throughout this network of computers we set up across the globe. I feel that every elected leader, or every leader appointed or elected, should get processed into a criminal justice system. It validates the system. They should put in their fingerprints so that Interpol and the FBI and any other fingerprinting computer systems can be validated and cross-referenced. Not only that, it shows trust in your government agencies and your police force, that they're not going to falsify your fingerprints at a crime scene and set you up. So it brings down the level of paranoia about the authorities. Hey, every elected official's been processed in, they've submitted their DNA and their fingerprints, and they're not worried about the authorities framing them for a crime to take them out of power, right? So this is a good thing. Donald Trump is validating the system. I don't think he's doing it voluntarily, but it would be a good sign if leadership voluntarily did do this. And I think if the Republicans weren't so paranoid, they would take this opportunity to stand up and say, this is a good thing, let's all do this. And I think it would be an interesting step for the Republican Party to say, I think this is validating the system and I'm willing to do it also. I don't stand with Trump necessarily, but I'm willing to do this as well. The other thing with Donald Trump is, because I said the supercomputers are looking for real people. They know Donald Trump is a real person. He's got millions, he's got hundreds or at least thousands of hours of video out there of him speaking. Right? He's validated into a criminal justice computer. He's a real person. He might have other passports, who knows, but he's a real person that can be cross-referenced to other leaders and other real people. And he has a large or semi-large multinational business, right? I wouldn't say it's not a corrupt business, and I would say that Donald Trump was elected because of a corrupt and manipulated power structure in the United States. But he still has this multinational business, and now the supercomputers can cross-reference other multinational businesses with Donald Trump's business. Compare and contrast and see what the corruption levels are in those businesses, right? Donald Trump became an elected public official, so his business was the people's business. So now we can say that his entire business is the people's business. So his entire business, at least to the supercomputers, should be accessible to be investigated for every nuance of illegal activity within his business. And if this plays out over the next 100 years, with Donald Trump's children having to explain his business practices, it is a reference point for white-collar crime over the next 100 years, where we discuss, he made this business move, was this ethical, was this logical, was this okay to do, so that we can compare it with other business moves made among other U.S. corporations. So I admire this New York City District Attorney that took the initiative to do this, and I believe other district attorneys throughout the United States and around the globe should follow suit and systematically continue to challenge the decisions that Donald John Trump made throughout his career. All right, so I think that's all I wanted to cover on this segment. Join me later today when I elaborate more on the Russian-owned and possibly commissioned yacht that we are discussing, and the neutrality of that yacht and how that plays into the future of warfare in a world with supercomputers and artificial intelligence. I'll say this again. I'm open to adding to the International Peace Treaty, and I think I'll elaborate more on that in the next segment. So thanks for watching, and join me later today. Oh, sorry, one additional note. The name of the talk show for the KDKA Channel 2 here in Pittsburgh, the name of the talk show is Talk Pittsburgh, and it'll be on at 3 o'clock. It's on at 3 o'clock every day. I'm going to watch it today. I'm going to at least play it on both of my TVs today to see what it's all about. But tomorrow, on Wednesday the 5th, Hillary will be on for 7 to 10 minutes speaking on Talk Pittsburgh on KDKA. If you want to line that up for your local TV stations to broadcast live or as close to live as possible. Thanks for watching.